Hey, community, it's David Michael. I'm going to do something a bit different today, or something I haven't done in a while anyways. We're going to focus on one album. Whew. It's going to be a good one if you're a Def Leppard fan because I wanted to show you or have a first look at the 30th anniversary of Def Leppard's Hysteria. The limited edition orange vinyl is what we're going to look at today, and then I'm going to quickly talk about it, having had several listens to it. So cheers, everyone. Let's get the formalities out of the way. Let's have a look at it. And I've had enough listens to it now to give you an honest opinion versus the original pressing from 1987. So first of all, I got, I guess depending on who you believe, some websites were saying there were as little as 500 or as many as 2,000 of the orange vinyl making it into the North American market. So I guess lesson learned, take that with a grain of salt, but regardless, it is limited. Most websites I did go to were sold out. So I got a copy directly from Universal Music in Canada. So thank you very much for that. Let's have a quick look at it. Other than it being a gatefold, there's not much different, obviously, about the cover, except for all the updated credits in the back. So there it is there. The back remains the same, but here's the gatefold, which is the one real difference in the album packaging. For those of you interested or thinking about picking it up, there's the gatefold. The fact that it's a double vinyl, I'm going to touch on really quickly after we have another look at the vinyl, or another look, a better look at the actual vinyl. The inner sleeve remains true to the original pressing, and I'll be really careful with the vinyl. So it's on orange vinyl. There's a label for those who care to see. I won't take out the second vinyl because I'm going to bet that orange vinyl looks exactly like the same one I just showed you. So the only real difference is on the second vinyl you get a set of lyrics, which I don't believe was present in any version of the original pressing. The CD, maybe the cassette, I can't remember now, but there you get the lyrics. And by comparison, or for comparison's sake, I have a pristine copy of the original pressing that I used kind of as a reference to kind of see what they did with this album. So I guess having had a look at it now, a very quick look at it, I didn't want to rush and do this video and kind of give you a half-baked review, because I wanted to, if I ever do reviews, I kind of want to be brutally honest, and not be, yay, I spent 35 bucks and I'm gonna tell you it's great, even though I'm underwhelmed. But having said that, got this in the mail yesterday. The selling point behind this album is that it's remastered, which is exciting, and then on the other hand, it's a bit weird because I don't know how you could really improve on Mutt Lange's original mix and the production he did. The only real complaint I had about the original pressing, whether it be, especially the CD and the vinyl as well, I guess it was a little bit cold sounding, a little bit tinny. It was very, very brash sounding, so it was a little bit a little bit harder on the ears. So I was hoping, first of all, let's talk about the album itself really quickly, is that it's a long album. It's an album that was kind of almost tailor-made for that new CD thing that was coming out in '87. Although we all know CDs were out before '87. That's kind of, I remember certainly '87, '88 was kind of when things were really taking off in my part of the world for a CD. So it was tailor-made for C. So the original, as I showed you, it's a single vinyl. So it's a lot of music to compact onto one vinyl. So I wasn't quite sure if some of the dynamic range was taken away or was kind of reduced because they crammed it all onto one record. And for regular viewers, you will know that I never proclaimed to be an incredible audiophile. I'm not going to sit here and talk about the sibilants and little things like that. But I can tell you that I played the new double vinyl reissue. I played it twice on my loudspeakers, my floor speakers, and then I played it on a really good set of my DJ headphones, and then I played the original vinyl for comparison's sake. And having heard the new vinyl reissue, it's meh. It's okay. It's very flat sounding, and that was kind of I was expecting to be blown away. I was expecting some of those little subtle nuances that you hear in songs like Gods of War, and I guess it's kind of all through the album, which was great about that album. Whether you like Def Leppard or whether you hate Def Leppard, you have to admit that Hysteria was a game changer in '87. And it kind of paved a road till about 1992 of everything in that genre that came after it. A lot of bands, a lot of artists were in the rock genre were trying to kind of chase the Hysteria wave with those big gang vocals and things like that. I was hoping that in the new remastered vinyl, some of those little nuances would be more upfront. Like I said, little things in Gods of War, little things in Women, things like that. That when you hear on CD, you hear those little things, and it's kind of maybe a little bit buried in the vinyl. So when I heard it was a double vinyl, I thought, great, they're expanding it. I'm hoping it's going to have a little bit more room to breathe. Obviously, the grooves will be bigger. It's there's a lot more dynamic range. So I was hoping for a little bit more. Like I said, the original production I thought was a little bit too high-end, a little bit lacking in the bass, and the low end, I guess, to be more specific. And this kind of sat somewhere in the middle, which generally might be a good thing, but it kind of sounded really underwhelming. It's fine, but it's not the great. See, that's the thing. I was going to say it's not the great remaster I was hoping for, but I don't know how you would improve on that album. Some of the harshness was taken away, which I think kind of, releasing it on double vinyl and giving it a little bit more room to breathe, that kind of maybe alleviates some of that. Possibly, but that could have been down to the mix to start with. I didn't detect a lot of that harshness that I detected on the original. So to that end, yes. It's a success in that aspect. But yeah, if you're a hardcore collector, I'm sure you're going to go for it. And yes, it's well worth having if you can get your hands on the orange vinyl. And the black vinyl's out, and that's perfectly fine as well. If finding an original pressing is not within your grasp, yes, it's readily available online. Having said that, if you own a nice copy of the original, I would, if you want to save a few bucks, probably would hang on to that one. I would say the double vinyl is definitely for hardcore fans. I don't think the original pressing, although it goes for a few dollars, it's not. The album sold 25 million copies worldwide. It's not that rare to find, so they are out there. But like I said, if you're so inclined. And it's just a short walk to the store to get it, and we're wanting a copy of Hysteria on vinyl. Yeah, this will be more than fine. I do think it, like I said, I think it is a slight improvement on the original pressing, but not that much to warrant, a $35 price tag, for instance. So it's one of those rare albums that I think it's actually better on CD. It's very seldom I'll ever say that, but. Yeah, that's my opinion on it. And speaking of which, I didn't go for the big mega box set. It's not something I was really interested in. You might be aware that there's a super deluxe box set that came out. But in 2006, if you're looking for a really good copy on CD, in 2006, the definitive edition came out. Crammed with all the B-sides, some unreleased stuff. To me, if you want to spend 25 bucks versus over $100 for the Super Deluxe, you can get this, and to me this will always be the definitive CD version of this album, my opinion. So that's my quick review of the new Def Leppard double vinyl reissue of Hysteria. It's yeah, it didn't blow me away. But it'll sit comfortably in my collection, and it's nice to give my original a rest. And it's kind of, it was a little bit interesting to kind of try to see the little subtle differences, which, you know, and they are subtle. I'll be honest about it. So yeah, like I said, not to make this too longer than it needs to be. If you're really wanting a copy of Hysteria and getting an original copy isn't readily available in your part of the world, certainly this is more than fine. If you have an original pressing that's really nice and clean, I'd say hang on to that one. Spend your money somewhere else. That's not a critique of Def Leppard or the vinyl pressing. It's fine. It's just not. It's not that great remaster I was hoping for, because I don't know how you could have improved on it to start with, other than, like I said, maybe evening out some of the highs and all that stuff we talked about. Having said that, what really bothers me about Def Leppard, and more maybe it's Universal Music, or because, you know, they're very hyper focused on Hysteria, and I can see why. That's their biggest selling album. I thought other titles in the Def Leppard catalog deserved more of a reissue than Hysteria. Like I said, if this is leading to other reissues, then great. Let's hope it does well enough where they can bring out much needed vinyl reissues of High and Dry, Adrenalize, and Pyromania. Those definitely should warrant vinyl reissues. And Super Deluxe box sets, I'm not really into those, but for the fans maybe. But yeah, getting some decent vinyl reissues of those three albums I mentioned, to me would have been a little bit more favorable than flogging another edition of Hysteria. My opinion. Anyways, I'm a fan, or I wouldn't be doing this video. I'm just being honest with you all. If you're on the fence about buying it and you're expecting something that's just gonna, and of course we're talking about the vinyl only. If you're wanting to buy it and you're expecting to be just hit in the face with something spectacular, it's, you know, it's what it is. That's kind of, I'm a bit disappointed, but like I said, I'm happy to have it. This has been David Michael from the vinyl community, and I hope you enjoyed the look at the limited edition orange vinyl of Def Leppard's Hysteria, the 30th anniversary, and I feel damn old. So, actually going to see that Hysteria tour, I believe with Skid Row opening up, or was it Tesla? Might have been Tesla, I can't remember. Anyways, yeah, it doesn't seem like that long ago, but I guess we're entering 29, 30 years ago of that tour, so yeah, time's marching on, isn't it? So, David Michael from the vinyl community, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time.